Morning. I'm here with Peter Göttgens, and Peter is the creator of these wonderful gins, the Agulhas gin and the Southern Cross gin. Well, you say to me they are grape gins.
They're grape-based.
Grape-based gins.
So Southern Cross is a triple distilled Pinotage-based gin,
Yeah.
and the Agulhas we've got Chenin Blanc in the gin. Both very, very different. Southern Cross is more of a sipping, fine sort of top-end niche gin,
Okay.
and Agulhas we've made as our fun cocktailing gin, you know, with a little bit of a nod to the most southern point in Africa.
And you do something with the seawater as well?
Both gins have seawater in.
Okay.
Obviously, I live at the southern tip of Africa. The home of our gins is Agulhas.
Okay.
So we've taken water from both the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, which get distilled,
Yeah.
clean them up, and then they get used in the gins. And this started during the water crisis in the Cape, where we needed a pure form of water,
Yeah.
and we thought, hell, you know, let's just put a little bit of a twist on this,
Okay.
and take the water from the two oceans just in front of where we live.
And where did your love for gin start?
I had the biggest gin bar in Scotland in 2003.
And how many, about 4 gins? Or?
Actually, we had about 30 odd gins in those days, but
Yeah.
you know, I suppose if you can count the big brands as those sort of gins. I remember sort of Karun gin was the big hit in those days when that was launched, and we actually did their launch at our hotel.
Okay.
So, you know, I've always loved that. We couldn't compete with the Scots in the whiskey front, so we just took a different tack.
Gin. Okay, and you still involved with the gin business?
Absolutely. You know, I look after Sara as my sort of day job,
Yeah.
and you know, that's why we have the biggest gin bar in the Southern Hemisphere at Asara. And you know, it's an amazing gin bar and an amazing team with over 500 gins there. And Southern Cross and Agulhas are our pouring brands
Okay.
at that bar. And you know, 21 botanicals into Southern Cross, 8 altogether into Agulhas. And you know, it's just a case of finding what we like as pure gins. So we're trying to go down the more traditional route, and keeping gins clear, pure, and just looking for the botanicals to do the work.
And the grape, does that make a difference, the grape base?
Much smoother.
Okay.
You'll find with a grain based, you're going to get that sort of long, I call it a burn, but the sort of heat coming down. With the grape based, it's a much broader in your palate, much more warming effect. The viscosity of the gin almost feels thicker, which just makes it for a much more elegant, much more sort of sipping gin. And it's gluten free, which is a bonus.
And is it more expensive to make a grape?
Absolutely. I mean, grape based is probably double the cost. You know, it's a much more complicated process. Very simply, we take 5,000 litres of good Pinotage wine. And again, like anything, you can't take rubbish to make a good product. So we take top-end Pinotage wine at about 13.5, 14% alcohol. We distill that, and from 5,000 litres of wine, you end up with less than 500 litres of distilled product.
Wow.
So that adds up pretty fast.
Well, there you go. I mean, the best place to taste these would obviously be here at the Zanzibar.
At Zanzibar.
Yeah, and it's available in a few bottle stores.
In selected stores within South Africa. We're primarily an export product,
Okay.
but in Agulhas, there's 2 liquor stores in Agulhas where you can get them. Joburg, we have a few stores, and with a little bit of help from our friends, we're hopefully going to sort of slowly creep into the market.
So how many countries are you available in?
We're in 5 countries currently.
Okay. Japan, the biggest one?
Japan's our biggest by a long way, followed by Holland. And for the last 2 years, we've been at the Japan Gin Festival. Last year we were their headline act, if you want to call it that, which was really nice. But I mean, the bar culture over there is totally different. They use Southern Cross just over a single ball of ice, and they sip it. No tonic, no anything else, and they just use it as a sipping product.
Okay, lots for us to learn. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, look out for these beautiful little bottles.
Great. Cheers.
Cheers.